home with Jim and Joy, and you are an important part of our EWTN family, and we're so delighted that you've welcomed us into your home. You know, we would love to hear from you, so you could just always send us an email with a question or a comment to jimandjoy@EWTN.com. And remember, in this busy, full world, you can listen to our show at EWTN's Podcast Central, EWTN.com/radio/podcasts, or wherever you might be happening to listen to your podcasts. Now, today we're welcoming best-selling Catholic author Kevin Wells to our show. Kevin is a married father with 3 children who lives in Millersville, Maryland. He's an award-winning Catholic author, a Catholic speaker, and a former sports reporter with the Tampa Tribune, where he covered Major League Baseball. Now, Kevin is also an active evangelist who has spoken on the national Catholic stage, including the Legatus Summit, the Napa Institute, and That Man Is You, EWTN, and all other conferences, missions, and retreats, where he often speaks on the urgent need for heroic lives of virtue and untamed Catholicism in the public square. It's music to my ears. His articles have appeared in Crisis Magazine, Catholic World Report, the National Catholic Register, and more. And he recently started a weekly writing series called The Wellspring, which you can subscribe to for free at his website, kevinwells.org. And today he's going to be here to speak with us about his newest book. And the title of the book is Coached by the Curé, Lessons in Shepherding with St. John Vianney. You could go out to his website, kevinwells.org.
Well, we had a great first show, and I look forward to his unpacking more fully the book, the character, the way of holiness of St. John Vianney. And he writes as if St. John Vianney is speaking, to you. So he soaked himself in St. John Vianney, and he's speaking to us as parents, and he's speaking to anybody in the broader church, priests and bishops and anyone else who will listen to St. John Vianney and say, this is the way. St. John Vianney is saying, this is the way. And he speaks so much as if, Jesus died across death, but Jesus lived across life. And that's what it's going to take to renew this church. We'll be right back. Plenty more to come. Please don't go away.
Welcome back. Well, our guest today is Kevin Wells, and he is the author of a beautiful book I highly recommend for you. It's called Coached by the Curé. Go out to his website. It's kevinwells.org. Well, Kevin, we had a very lively show with you yesterday. And for our family that didn't get to watch yesterday, give a brief recap about the book, Being Coached by the Curé, and your perspective through St. John Vianney. And then I want you to tell our family about the saintly characteristics of St. John Vianney and the impact that he can have in 2026 in the lives of children and families.
Thank you, Joy. A few years ago, I wrote a book called The Hermit, the Priest Who Saved the Soul, a Marriage, and the Family. And as authors do, you travel around and you give talks and you sign books. And I noticed something pretty much everywhere I went. 1, 2, 3 married couples would come up after the talk. You have books at a table, and the scene played out the same over and over again. Obviously, there was variables, but mom would have teary eyes, dad would be looking at the ground, and I'd say, oh, there's another one, there's another, and they'd sit down, and finally mom would the waterworks would come down, and mom would say, we lost them all. We've lost all our kids to the world. We got 5 kids, they're gone. Dad would be looking at the ground, had his arm around her waist, and this kept going on. And I said, Lord, and they would ask, what do we do? And obviously you give answers. We won't go into that, or at least some thoughts. But the book, Coached by the Curé, is the answer to these parents, and it is, the book is John Vianney now is encouraging moms and dads not only in ways to get those children back who have entered into the world, but to raise their kids to be saints in the home. So John Vianney is no longer in this book the patron saint of parish priests. He's been renamed. He is now the patron saint of the domestic church. And John Vianney begs, implores moms and dads, hey, you can do this. I'm on the sidelines. I'm with you. I'm going to show you what happened after post-revolution France, when everyone left, not everyone, but much of France was either guillotined or ran away from the faith or scared to be Catholic because of Robespierre. Well, John Vianney led them all back, hundreds of thousands, 30 years later. So he says to moms and dads, you can do it too, and I'm going to show you how. It's kind of a sacred blueprint of how moms and dads can really be like John Vianney, and he lays it out for them.
Yeah. In terms of your format, you do have a number of chapters that kind of share the way of St. John Vianney and his character and so on. You have reflections after each chapter. Is this something like, I guess you could do it individually, you could do it as a couple, churches can do it together, because your reflection section is pretty powerful in terms of calling people to commitment.
Yeah, I think, husbands and wives, we're always looking for reasons to become a little bit closer, right? So I do think, Jim, I'm glad you said that. Read a chapter together, and afterwards there are questions that John Vianney asks. So the book, for your viewer, I'm just arrogant enough to write a book in John Vianney's voice after studying his biography. So it's actually written in his tongue, this book. So he asks questions after each chapter. So yeah, I think it's a good thing for husband and wife to kind of reflect on after the kids are off to bed about, hey, are we doing this as moms and dads? And,
Right.
Yeah.
Because we do, as parents and as grandparents, we have to examine, right? Well, one of the things is just in our own personal lives of holiness, we have to examine the fruit and say, do we have rotten fruit? Or is it vibrant? Is it delicious? Is it tasty? Is what we're doing right? Because if we just keep doing the same thing, and where it's like, we need a change. We need a new course direction, right?
100%. That's actually why I led with humility. Like, when you read about John Vianney, it's a kick in the teeth. Like, it grabs you by the face mask and says, you're an okay dad, but man, you got so much more in your tank. You have 3 kids. You got 3 pure souls that you're raising up, and they're going to leave the house. John Vianney nailed himself to the wood of the cross for all of France and worked 19, 20 hours every day because he knew he needed to spiritually resurrect France. So yes, I think as moms, and I need to know if my wife sees something in me that is soft or lukewarm or hesitant or wobbly, well, I better hope that she says something that enables me to begin to annihilate. Maybe it's a predominant fault and it's spreading. Right. Well, I gotta do what I can to annihilate this wound and fill it with the sanctifying graces so I can be a decent dad.
Right. And part of the problem is so many people are so sick in their own wounds, and they're not working the sacraments of the church to get the healing that God is desiring to give them. Run to confession. When you receive the Eucharist, let it be the medicine for your body, soul, and mind that your body is craving. I mean, my heart grieves sometimes, and you just watch people and their robotic motion after they receive. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's like, wait a minute, Jesus has just come inside my body. I think I'm going to implode. Right? But it's that formation.
Well, Joy, that's why I wrote the book, because the church has failed miserably to catechize over the past 60 years, 6 decades. And because it has failed with CCD programs, catechesis, sometimes the Mass just not being reverently celebrated, this book says, look, we don't cast judgment on the priest down the road who maybe is living more like a bachelor priest, or maybe the priest is holy down the road. It's not about either one of them. Like, we're obviously going to go to the holy priest who offers his life, daily holy hours, etc. But mom and dad, this is now in this world 2026 where everything is like a spreading Babylon. Mom and dad, you've got to get in the trench. You've got to be the priest in the home. So the catechesis, as you brought up, Joy, we have to teach people, no, you don't go to Eucharist like a robot, and you also don't go in the state of mortal sin. Like, I wonder how many, no judgment, but I wonder how many communicants this Sunday will go to Mass in the state of mortal sin because they haven't heard from behind the ambo, hey, please, I beg you, please, as your spiritual father, I love you, but I offer confession 5 days a week, 6 days a week, and man, sometimes I weep because no one's ever coming. Right. So why are you coming to communion? Right. So until parents link it together, mortal sin, the gravity of sin can take you to hell. This is what communion demands. Jesus wants to give himself fully. How does he give himself fully when you're in sin?
Right.
So moms and dads, this book says, you're the ones.
Right.
Tell us more about portraits of humility, what true humility is.
John Vianney knew that he could not win over a spiritually bereft town, and these were hardcore potato farmers. They didn't play games with overly pious priests. They wanted priests that they could see, like, yeah, this guy cares for me. So he used to go into the fields and help pull potatoes. He grew up on a farm in Dardilly, very humbly, so his cassock would be sweat-stained. He didn't care. Obviously, he cared, but they weren't going to Mass on Sunday. They would hear the bells ring on Sunday, but they didn't care. They didn't go. So John Vianney warned them what that would happen, but he said, well, what's going to win them back? Let me humble myself. Let me pick potatoes. A famous story about John Vianney is several townsfolk and priests from the surrounding areas, because John Vianney preached very strongly about the consequences of sin is damnation, they put together a petition that condemned John Vianney, calling him neurotic, a wild man, kind of the Forrest Gump of all priests. They had heard that he failed out of seminary 3 times. And one of John Vianney's few friends in those early days when ours had not too many people going to Mass, he gave John Vianney the petition and said, hey, they're trying to kick you out of the priesthood. And John Vianney looked at it, and his eyes welled with tears, and he signed the petition. That's humility. And what began to win some of those Ars residents and some of those priests back was John Vianney's stunning display of humility.
Yeah. And so this is instruction for us as parents, the sacrifice of ourselves, the true pate cum, suffering with. I can remember my son, he was sad about some things and really hurting, and he wouldn't talk about it, So I lay down in bed with him, put my arm around him and said, I know you're hurting and everything, and, why don't you just, let it out and share and cry, And he looked at me and he said, you don't cry. Whoa, man, I felt that right in my heart. You don't cry. I said, Lord, you got to give me tears, like right now. I needed to feel it. And I did. I just started crying for him, And from the bottom of his gut, it just came out. Ooh, it just came out. But, it was related to me. And that's what you're saying. These are lessons from St. John Vianney. You see, right? So it's not just for the priest. It's me, oh Lord. I'm a good dad, but I want to be better. And if somebody's going to point something out to me, then, my kids are pointing it out. I want my son to be whole, and he's saying, well, you don't seem quite whole.
Well, that's the thing. Well, so John Vianney was so holy in his humility. What it'll do for Jim Pinto and Kevin Wells is when we see, so John Vianney was infused because he spent his life in front of the monstrance. He was intensely devoted to contemplative prayer. He wasn't gifted with theological opulence, but because he prayed, he understood, like, your son was suffering from something you couldn't see. Well, John Vianney could read souls as time went on. So he would know, Vianney would say, hey, Jim, here's the deal. Your son needs you to almost like stick your hand in between your rib cage and pull out your heart and say, son, I don't know, but I weep. I weep because you're suffering. Absolutely. And he sees your tears, and then there's a big hug because Dad, so this book encourages sort of that route, that highway to what moms and dads can do that Vianney did to sort of cut away those stumbling blocks with their sons and daughters.
Right. And it really, we all want to be the best version of ourselves, right? In our journey of holiness. We all want to decrease our vices, increase our virtues. And this book is a manual of just saying, this is the heart of God for you. to be the best version of you. Because just being a parent is hard work anyway, being a dad, being a mom, and doing the stuff that we do. Well, why not do it with greater tools? I mean, not with broken tools. We want the best toolbox, right? We want to be able to go, I got this, I got confession, I have the sacraments, I have all the saints. Do you understand the great cloud of witnesses that are here with us? We are not alone, right? And you tell my grandchildren, this is holy water. Every time I leave my house and they're just looking at me, and Nona, where are we getting that holy water? I said, this is yours, you're taking it home. You know what I mean? And the church has it for us, and the priest bless it. I mean, it's this constant catechizing, but not in a preachy way, in a lived way. Coming saying, because this is the wretch that Nona is, and I need all the help I can get. And God wants to help us. And we have to be vulnerable with our children and our grandchildren and say, look, I'm getting old. We want to finish well. It's not how we start, it's how we finish. And we want to finish well. And we want all the lights on. And if there's darkness inside of us, Jesus, come and expose it, because I want to be full of light, right? And those are the ways that we have to teach and love and share. And this great holy priest is speaking to us today. And you need a manuscript? There it is, right?
Yeah, you know, Jim and Joy, you understand that it's all about witness. It's all about your behavior. Back in the day when you were raising your kids, you can talk all you want about the catechism or the latest, oh, the saint of the day is this, and did you hear the second reading? Okay, yeah, but Mom and Dad, are you loving me? Like, so this book holds up a paragon and says, this is what a guy did that pulled back hundreds of thousands, and he had to display it. So these characteristics, again, the characteristics of shepherding, of fatherhood, of motherhood, they're immutable. A holy saint, they don't change over the generations. So that's what this sort of lays out as it caters to John Vianney's life.
Yes,
It's beautiful.
beautiful.
We're going to take a break at this point, hold you over for the final segment, so be thinking about what you want to leave us with. Also want to hear about this new thing that you're doing with the email, because I just signed up for that, got one of those. So what's that all about? What's your hopes of, hopes of that? So we'll be right back, plenty more to come. You can go to kevinwells.org, kevinwells.org for more information for that. Is it a monthly email?
Weekly.
Weekly email, okay. We'll be right back, plenty more to come. Please don't go away. Finishing our conversation with Kevin Wells. Kevin, you share quite a bit about St. John Vianney and one of his great secrets of going to the Blessed Mother, and just the power that comes from that. How can parents, how can households call upon Our Lady? Your thoughts?
John Vianney didn't see Our Lady as a porcelain doll, like a Christmas time little Bethlehem scene where Mary's quiet and just. No, he saw Mary as the leader of the warrior of angels. They bowed to Mary. So, what does that mean? So, John Vianney at the fourth station of the cross, when Jesus meets his mother and he's bloodied and broken, the cross is on top of him. He's already starting to suffocate, and he sees Mary, and John Vianney saw Mary as saying, "Get up, son. Get up. You got to finish this." Mary put a demand on John Vianney. So on those hard days, those long nights, the long suffering he went through when he could not get folks to come back to the church, Mary was telling him, get up, walk Golgotha. Don't stop this. My son, you told my son that you want to be a priest? Get up. Stick the cross on your stinking shoulder and get up. So John Vianney, Mary sort of acted with the whipcord, like, John, I love you, but there's more in your tank, even more in your tank. And because he gave Mary his life as a Holocaust, France was changed. And I think Mary was the one that really put a charge into him to suffer and take to the cross and make choices every day to do hard things.
Yeah. Well, support, speaking truth, you know, like he was saying earlier, and I often use an illustration of, you know, we can't really affirm ourselves into the fullness of who we are. Maybe Jesus could do that, but he even had a mother and she had to encourage him. It's parents taking as much as you can see of the essence of their child and holding it up before them and saying, this is who you are. And this is who God calls you to be. Yeah, I'm thinking of some of our kids when we had difficulties, and Joyce said, you know what, you've been taken over by something, but I know who you are. You know, and she kissed it and put it back, this is who you are. Be at home. This is who you are. And that's the call, really, to some degree, of priests to do for us, bishops for their priests to do that. Are they doing that? Parents, are we doing that? To be a student of our children and a student of God and what he wants for them. And the Curé of Ars can tell you a lot about that so that you can articulate that and then take some time and just kiss and say, this is who you are. You know, go on, keep walking. There's suffering in this world, but keep walking because the light will come through this suffering, that kind of thing we got to do.
Yeah, we're custodians for our children's souls, and you know, if my kids don't get to heaven, then I probably won't get there either. I've got to have a plan. So part of that demands, as you said, Jim, to ennoble them, to paint the path, to teach them, catechize them. So yeah, we've got to get in the trench with our kids in this day and age to guide them, because it's tough out there. We all know it.
Just in the closing minute, tell us about, I'm just picking up on this now, the Wellspring, Kevin Wells. I mean, she's so obvious. So I did sign up for your email. Tell us about it. Why are you doing this?
So last year, I do a lot of writing for Crisis magazine, and Crisis takes on things for about 30, 35 years. And I began to realize that when I wrote something, hopefully through prayer, the Holy Spirit, oftentimes I found that it was just going to be held up by a certain tribe. Oh, the TLM community. Oh, Wells is on our side. Or if I wrote something else, the cultural Catholics. Oh, Wells is with us. And I said, no more. I'm sick of this silliness because I just want to write for God. So about 3 months ago, I said, I'm done. And I'm taking a financial hit because you get paid for writing articles. So I write a free article for God now. I mean, for the folks out there, hopefully. So it's if they go to kevinwells.org and put their email in the Wellspring, they'll see a link. I try and write things that this side of the tribal church and this side's not writing. Yep. I try and split the seams to lead us closer to Jesus' Sacred Heart, to the Immaculate Heart of Mary, in hopefully as an old Irish storyteller or sports writer, through storytelling. So so far it's I think it's done okay, I guess.
Good.
Right. Yeah. Well, and it's for a time such as this, because we're in a time and we all need to wake up.
Yeah. Kevin, it's great to have you back. Look forward to anything else you're going to be writing and hearing about it, whatever you're working on. And thank you for your ministry to the church as a whole and working for the renewal of the church, even if she has to go through some confronting of pain, you know, to know the truth, because the truth will set you free. Thank you so much. Coached by the Curé of Ars, EWTNRC.com, or just go to Kevin's website, kevinwells.org, and get that email, that weekly email from Wellspring. You're an important part of this EWTN family, and you're never alone. And we always try to speak the truth here and to speak it in love and to walk it out together. God bless you and all of your loved ones. Keep it on EWTN. Bye now.